Welcome to Global Copilot Developer Summit for Microsoft 365. Well, I could not be there, but I'm really happy to have a very virtual one. So, looking forward to it. Thank you so much for joining in. Thanks for the entire team. So this Global Copilot Developer Summit for Microsoft 365, which is happening between 6th April to 18th May, it's all about giving an awareness to people as to what extensibility of Copilot is and what you could actually do using your Copilot, what are the different ways of building one. And this is all happening before 18th May, so that post build, that is when build happens, that is on May 21st to 23rd, you will have new updates happening. And new updates so that you are well aware as to what is happening with the Copilot. So we've already done in person in all these cities: Bangalore, Chennai, Pune, Gurgaon, Redmond, and almost done with lots of locations in person, virtually. So today it's Tel Aviv, so happy to be here presenting one. So the theme of the summit is very simple. It's to adopt, extend, and build on Copilot, and it is intended for professional developers, so who are interested in learning more on the extensibility part. So to give you a very small example, say for example, you are working with Teams day in and day out, whether it could be an Outlook, calendar, Teams, or Notes, or anything with any of the M365 suites, and you have your application outside. Now, how do I kind of connect these two bubbles? How do I get data into Microsoft 365? It is possible, and that is where you use extensibility of Copilot. So you're getting your data into M365 bubble, you're connecting it so that I don't leave the M365 bubble. I'm able to access my entire application data inside the M365. So that's about extensibility. So moving on, I'm Kamal. I'm a developer advocate at Microsoft. I work with the product and the engineering team, and that's my QR code. So if you would like to connect with me with any kind of challenges or any other feedback or any other collaborations, or just connect with me to know more on the product that I work, please feel free to scan this QR code, connect me on LinkedIn, and I'm happy to connect with you guys. So I'll leave 2 seconds so that you can scan this QR code. Alright, so today's agenda is all about Copilot for M365, plugins, resources, and community. Community plays a very important role here. It's important to be a part of the community to understand what are the latest updates happening, so that you are well prepared with the product, with the releases, and so that you can leverage your businesses with the new features that you are building one. So a request: be friendly, welcome, respect each other's opinion. Be kind and considerate to others. So I have a quick poll question. So why I do this is to understand who my audience are and what kind of profile are you guys from, and what is that you're expecting out of this event and future events, what kind of content I can come up with. So scan this QR code, and it's a quick poll with 10 questions. So let me know once you're done. I'll freeze it like for 30 to 40 seconds, and then we can take it. So another 10 seconds, and if it's not available, I'll leave it to Moria and the team. They will share it with you. So coming to the Copilot for M365, definitely I would say it's your AI assistant for Microsoft 365. Now, how do I train my Copilot? When to use a Copilot? How to extend it? How to adopt it? So you will get to know more about it in this coming sessions. So here we will cover a very light of it. So what you could see here is we have all the applications from Teams, Word, Excel, PowerPoint. These all are my M365 suite. Now comes below is your Copilot, where you have your LLM, which is the brain of the Copilot, the internet, the Microsoft Graph, that is your data that you're getting in and out of the Microsoft 365, and your 365 application. this all together will kind of play an amalgamation in giving you a Copilot for M365, and we will see how this really happens. So initially, Copilot for Microsoft 365 was more of Microsoft 365 app with the graph, the internet, and the graph connector, which I said with your LLM. LLM is like your brain of your Copilot. Whatever you train is what you get there. Now, I'm going to say a very interesting example to share with you was like, I was building a bot and I said, how to make a pancake. And it immediately gave me a set of instructions like, okay, so much of ingredients you need, this is the measurement, this is what the cooking process is. But then after that, when I said, you are on IT support and these are the products that you'll have to deal with it, and these are the features, when I gave a data to it, and when I trained my Copilot, when I trained my LLM, and then I asked how to prepare pancake, you know what it said? I'm not your chef bot, I'm an IT bot where I handle only IT related queries. So that is how we are able to train our bots. So there are two ways of extending these Copilots. So one, either you get your plugins, you build plugins, or other you can actually build your own custom Copilot. When I say extending part, what you could do is you already have an application, all you have to do is just plug in. But when I say custom Copilot, I have to build it from scratch, and which is from Teams AI library. That's another area of discussion. So these are ways which you could actually implement Copilot or build Copilot. So it depends on where you come from, whether you want to adopt, extend, or build Copilots here. So if you're in the adopt mode, it's more of Power Platform, Microsoft Dynamics 365, Windows Pro, GitHub Copilot, where GitHub Copilot is more for a developer. If you're extending it, then either you have to go with Copilot plugins, graph connectors. So understand where you stand here and then adopt and move on with it accordingly. And if you want to build custom Copilot, if you're more of a custom Copilot, you say, Kamal, you know what, it doesn't really fit into what I'm building, then just go ahead with building custom Copilots. That's with either Azure AI Studio or a Copilot Studio, which is more of a low-code pre-built Azure A services. So as I told you, AI extensibility, either you can extend a Copilot or you can build a Copilot. When I say extend, you can go ahead with plugins, but these are the developer toolchain that you have, which is like Studio, Visual Studio, Teams Toolkit Studio, then Teams AI library, which I was talking for building your custom Copilot, and Azure AI Studio. With your Azure services, you could kind of build one. Alright, so before we get a more deep into it, it's always good to have a better understanding of what your Copilot, how does it work in the background, what is the architecture of it. So here you can see the number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So what exactly happens the moment I say type something in a bot, to a bot basically. So when the user prompts are sent to the Copilot, which is the number 1, the user prompt, what it does is the second it accesses the graph, it checks if it requires web and then other services for grounding, which is nothing but pre-processing. That's processing your data, whether do I have sufficient data to answer my prompt or not. Then the Copilot sends the modified prompt to your LLM. So directly it is not sent to the LLM. These modified prompts are being sent to LLM. That is what third is. Then the Copilot receives the modified prompt, LLM response from that, whether it could be an Azure OpenAI or it could be any other RAI performance could be performed, and then the response is again gone into compliance and purview, which is the post processing, and that's when you receive an output. So the moment I say what is the recipe for pancake, when I get the response with the pancake is this is what all it happens. So these are the details. So as I told you, team message extension, Power Platform connectors, OpenAI plugin, choose your Copilot, what you want to build, where is your area of proficiencies or expertise, and accordingly you could build one. So I have something called Copilot Chronicles. They say, Kamal, you know what, I'm already, I cannot be in person to attend this, but I want to be a part of this. So we have something called Copilot Chronicles where you can register. It's a weekly live stream which I talk to industry experts, I talk to MVPs, I talk to Microsoft team kind of we exchange ideas about Copilot, irrespective of which platform you are, SharePoint, which services, Dynamics. So every day, every week, we keep talking about it. So if you want to be a part of it, this is the link. You could get registered, and looking forward to having you in the session, and also you can hear to the live stream here. So coming to the resources, these are the resources. I'm going to freeze this section for a minute so that you can refer to it. So whatever I've been talking about, if you want to dive deep into it, go ahead with Copilot Plugin, message extensions, graph connectors, and Copilot for M365. And area of discussion, I always get this query: Kamal, I have an issue, I have a concern, I'm unable to connect the database, I have an API issue, it's throwing me some errors, how do I get this address? So this is the link. Post your discussion, I'll be happy to help you. In case if I'm not the right person, at least I'll route you to the right department. So please get this connected. And here's the feedback. I'll leave it to Moria again, so you can scan this, fill in the feedback, and you can send it to me later. And that's it for it today. Thank you so much for being with us, and wish I could be in person, but I'm glad that I could do it virtually. Thank you so much for attending, and moving on, you'll have amazing sessions. Looking forward to it. Bye.
Hello, and thank you, Kamal, for giving the introduction to Copilot and for putting all of these global Copilot developer summits in place. It's been a long journey already, and now we are on the finish line, running the marathon, and we are nearly there with just a few pieces left. So I'm super excited to join from Norway through New York, to all of you listening in. So my name is Knut Relbe-Moe, and I'm calling in from Norway in Europe, and here is actually already 17th of May and not 16th, which is here it is still in New York. That is pretty funny. But that is the beauty of technology, and that's the beauty that you can join from wherever. So I'm happy to be here, and today I'm going to talk about the adoption side or the adapt side of Copilot, because I think it's a key for anyone that should build their own Copilot or extend their own Copilot to also see where you should probably start with Copilot, all the possibilities to do Copilot just within the Edge browser, basically, because a lot of people might already have tested Copilot out. A lot of people might have tested it out. Some people might be scared to test it out because maybe they are scared because maybe Copilot have access to something and it's like scary. But yeah, we will go through all of that. So let's jump to the next slide, and let's see. Yeah, here we go. Also, I'm having a blog of my own where you can connect with all of our experts and so on. So please check it out as well. And of course, this is myself. So I've been Microsoft MVP now for 9 years, talking all over the world. I just come from a conference in Europe, and a couple of weeks ago I was in Orlando for the Microsoft 365 conference there. My specialty has been kind of Teams and SharePoint through all the years. Was starting with SharePoint like 10 years ago, but of course these days everybody has to get involved with Copilot in one way or the other. And of course, since Copilot, especially internally, is leveraging all of your data that you have access to Microsoft Graph, just as Kamal is showing you as well, it means that you need to have control of your SharePoint environment as well. So that is, I can still get use of my old knowledge, which is kind of good. So yeah. Um, the goal for today's section is actually nothing more than learn how to use Microsoft Edge browser to perform some of your daily tasks, or we will take a deep dive into what is possible here. I do have a few slides. I will run them really quick because I only have like half an hour today. So this is a session that will take many hours. So let's see how we can manage to do it within the 30 minutes that we have in front of us. But just as Kamal was mentioning, there's a lot of different co-pilots. Today we're going to focusing on the co-pilots that we have here. In my opinion, you have the Copilot inside of Bing, which is kind of Microsoft.com/Copilot, or you can go into Copilot Microsoft.com in the browser, and we will also look at what is possible within Edge as the browser, basically. Then, of course, you have all the other nice Copilots over here, but the nice and beautiful thing about the ones over here is that they are you can have it for free even without having a Microsoft 365 account. You can just use it without logging in at all, or you can also log in to get more functionality in the browser. So that is also why I'm telling everybody that wants to test Copilot out. This is start. Because you can start with low-hanging fruits before you go and move into the paid version where you have so much more possibilities. But again, it's a great place to start just with the one that is in the browser. And then yeah, we have some chat apps, and we also have some apps where Copilot is not included that has the own Copilot. That is Copilot in SharePoint, it's Copilot in Power Apps, and Copilot in Viva Engage that has their own solution around. I'm not going to go through the default Copilot slides here because Kamal already did that. But here you see the fact that yes, Copilot is available everywhere. For instance, I'm using the Microsoft keyboard on my Apple phone. So even with my Apple phone, when I have the Microsoft keyboard there, I love it. It's much better than the native one. I get the Copilot button even on the keyboard, so I can jump into Copilot even just from whenever I'm writing a text message or a message wall. So that is pretty nice. And of course, you have the dedicated mobile apps as well for both Android and iOS and iOS. Or you have it also inside of your Windows device, but that depends on which country you're living. Because, for instance, in Norway, they still don't have Copilot as part of the Windows experience because yeah, it's not rolled out yet. We're still waiting. But today we're going to focus on the Microsoft browser. So, as I mentioned, you could start with the free version, which is just go into any browser. You don't need to be signed in with your Microsoft personal account or a Microsoft business account. You just go into Copilot, Microsoft.com, and you can start to play around with Copilot there. Or you can play around with the free version. You can sign in with your Microsoft personal account because there are some differences there. You also have the Microsoft Copilot Pro, which is the consumer version of the Microsoft Copilot. This will require a Microsoft family account, but after that you can be able to use it. Or you have the Microsoft 365 Copilot. This is the enterprise version of Copilot. And as you can see, there are some differences here if you are signed in or not. So, for instance, if you are not signed in, you only can be allowed to type 5 prompts per conversation. So, it's a big limitation. There's no personalization, and also conversations are not the same. And you can also not use Copilot image creation. So there's a lot of reasons why you should sign in, basically, because then you have more prompts. You get personalization based on previous conversation. It's something you can, of course, turn off if you don't want it to remember. But again, yeah, it's just a better experience. So when it comes to Copilot in Edge, it's the button up here in the right corner in Edge. You just will open that one up, and then you'll be able to go and get Copilot as the add-in inside of your browser. And the nice thing there, for instance, you can use it to summarize a PDF document that you have opened. You can use it to summarize a current page. Let's imagine that you are a company and you want to go and check out what your competitions are doing. You can open up your competition's website there. And then if you are switching up here, you see it's work on web. So this is the context of where Copilot is working. The default is there. That means just kind of look into whatever the user has access to when you sign in, or if it's personal account, it's going to have access to use on the personal account. But if you choose web, then it will look out on the full internet to find information. There are some organizations that have switched off because it's possible to do this as well when it comes to not being allowed to look out in the internet. But on the other hand, most companies has that open. So if I will click here and go on the web, I can then go into the competitor's website. I can go and ask Copilot to summarize what the offerings are from the competitor. I can go in and do comparison. I can go in and create like a table of what things they are doing and so on. So there are heaps of possibilities here that we can do with Copilot in the Edge browser. So here we look at the Compose tab. We have the Chat tab, and we have the Compose tab, and we have the Insight tab. So if you're looking at the Compose tab, this is actually where you can go in and inside of the browser again. You can use it to write emails, as you can see here. You can use it to write a blog post. You can use it to also come up with some tasks or ideas for you. And then, of course, you can choose the length of that. You can go in and also choose the tone of that. And you can have the kind of the input of the text that you want to work. So again, even if I'm not inside of Outlook and I can click with the Copilot button, I can ask Copilot to write an email for me. I could still do it here, and I can just copy it afterwards and paste it into that email again. So it's a nice way to be able to start to leverage and use Copilot without needing, to pay the full license. But honestly saying, if you work a lot in Teams and have a lot of Teams meeting, just that will be good. Yeah. Okay, great. So let's move along, and I hope my audio will continue to be improving. So when it comes to Copilot for Microsoft 365, this is a really nice handout that Microsoft also have. You can find it also on the internet, but this is like the top 10 things you can start to do when you're starting to work with Copilot. So, for instance, when it comes to Copilot in the browser, you see the Copilot icon down here. So this is the top 3 things you can do in a sense without to one of the Microsoft applications. So, for instance, we have summarize of the document. As you can see here, we have tell me about a topic or project, or we can give some ideas basically coming in. I'll go and show you a couple of examples as and then we have the last 4 here. So again, you can see that what did it say? So you can actually go in and also ask, for instance, like Copilot to see what a colleague said during a meeting, ask translate the message. Because for instance, myself, I work in companies that speak different type of languages. I work for a French company. They all our communication is on French. I don't understand French. I don't understand. So that being said, it's very nice to have the opportunity just to click translate a message. And also for me, for instance, inside of Word, one of the things that I really like as not an English native, I can also go inside of Word or anywhere else where I'm writing a text. I can ask Copilot to improve my text, improve my English, make it perfect, which is really, really handy when you're not English native, for instance. So let's go and take a look at that. So, and audio is not good. Okay, that's weird. Let me double check that in just a second. It should be good, but I think it might be something on my end. Okay, let's try. I did a small change. So let's see if this is better. So let's try like this, and I hope it will be better. Um, so yeah. So now I'm into Copilot. So this is Copilot inside of the browser. So here you can see that I'm already logged in up here. I'm of course seeing the name of my tenant here. I see that I'm in the work context. I can also switch to the web context, and then you see again that it comes up here that I'm protected. So that's also what you get when you have being signed in. You get that you are protected. You get that you both your personal and company data are protected. So that is a good badge to see, basically. So for instance, here you see some of the examples that Microsoft provides with what you can do with Copilot. We also have a notebook up here. I think that's key to highlight as well, because the nice thing in here is that it will remember whatever you put here, and it can store also a lot of different a lot of the content in here. And you can see you can also put new topics, and it will remember that as well. So it's something that is quite so good to know about the notebook capability in here. So yeah, but for now, I wanted to kind of go in and just show you the Copilot in here in the browser itself. So for instance, I have a web page here, as you can see. This is actually a blog that I was writing earlier, so it's also by myself. It's about how Copilot is working inside of Word itself. So here we can go in, and first of all, I will just write a new topic to just clean what before. And you see here that I have 3 of 30 responses left because I'm being signed in. I also have the possibility to go here and get some suggestions of prompts to do, and I can also go into prompts that I have saved. So this is coming in from the Copilot Lab, which I think is a great way to also, in an organization and also personally, that I can store my own favorite prompts, because then it's easier to reuse them later. Um, so, for instance, I can go in and I can go in here and I can just start a new chat, as we can see here, and then we can ask it to share meeting notes. I can get key information from a file. So let's just try to do that. And I have my it opens up files that I have in my OneDrive already. And I can just choose one of them. So for instance, I can use the PowerPoint that I'm just having here for the presentation today. So list key points from getting started with Copilot in Edge. And now it looks through my PowerPoint file and it lists out all of the key points from getting started there. It's a really nice way to just summarize the huge presentation that is like 55 slides in just a few moments. You see that it's also referenced in my PowerPoint file here. Of course, as with everything in Copilot, you can go and like or dislike it. And this is also really good for Microsoft, that you are providing feedback to how Copilot is working as well. You can also ask now, based on the content that is out here, I can continue in the same context. I can continue in the same conversation and ask more questions. So for instance, I can go in here and ask, what are the top 10 actions to try first? Remember, I had the 10 list that I had, and now it will come in with exactly the same list as you can see here. And the nice thing is now it came out like that. I can also ask make this as a table, and now it will put all of this in 10 things in a table for me, as you can see here, which is super nice. It's to copy paste it, and it's just extremely great for that. So now, so that was kind of showing you how you can summarize a document file. It could also be in a PDF, as I have here. So I could also ask you to summarize this page, or I can ask you to summarize this page that I have inside of the browser. So now I'm asking to summarize this page for me, and now it will go in and summarize this page as well. As you can see, but actually I should go and look at the web up here just to get a more accurate response. see here, generate page summary. So and I just need to accept to do it. And after I accept it, then it will show us the summary of the top 3 features for Microsoft 365 Copilot. So this is again, as I mentioned before, like if you want to go into some competitors and find out what they are doing, you can actually also use Copilot in Edge for that specific scenario as well, which is really, really great because it will take you a lot of time to read through all the pages and all everything, but with doing like this, you will actually get quite so much quicker. And the one thing that I really like at least here also is that, as you can see, it comes up with other questions to ask Copilot to kind of dive more into the data that you have. If you go to the post really quick, we have like a few more minutes. This is also like one of the things that I really like because you see, based on this website here, I can go in and create, for instance, a LinkedIn post. So we can also, I can actually also go back to this one. I can ask, can you create a social media post for me based on this page? And now it will also generate those 3 social media posts for me. So for me as a Microsoft MVP, I all the time need to do this. And with Copilot, I get a lot of help when it comes to that. So you see now it's created post number 1, post number 2, and post number 3 for me. And I can, of course, go and copy them, and then I can post them on LinkedIn, on Twitter, or X as it's called now, or whatever platform that you prefer to use. And of course, you can see it. I can say, thank you, the drafts are great. You can, of course, again, dislike or like, or I can, of course, get it also to read it out loud for me if I want to do that as well. Thank you. So, but again, if we go here, I can basically just go and just copy some of the text from here. Just as you can see here, I can paste it in here, and then I can ask it to create a LinkedIn post for me. You can do medium length, and I can do it to I can do it a draft. So now again, it will, based on the text that I put in here on the top, it will generate a LinkedIn post for, as you can see. So this is also, again, something that is a task that I need to do every single day with Copilot in Edge. I get a lot of help on that, and I can save a lot of time. Of course, I need to read through it. I need to make sure that everything is accurate and so on. But again, sometimes it's difficult to know where to start with it right, and that is one of the things that Copilot can help you quite so much with. You can also do the same for writing an email. You can write a summary, a bullet point list, and a report even. So there are, of course, limitations on how much text can be generated and all this kind of stuff here. But again, it's a really great way to start with getting writing done, as I mentioned. And I can also, um, yeah. So as I showed you now that yes, you can do all these things with just being a Copilot in the browser inside of Edge. As you saw, I also went into Copilot Microsoft, where you can do a lot of similar tasks. So, for instance, you can go in here and I'll just go back because we are now in the mode. For some reason, my button was grayed out. But as you can see here, I can also do a lot of the similar items in here. So I can go to the work tab and you can say like, for instance, help me write. So you can ask it to help me write with this file. You can ask it to get your calendar in, or you can ask it to prepare you for meetings, track your tasks, all this. So even without needing to start this code in Outlook, in Teams, if you haven't written any prompts, if you haven't started to do anything inside of Copilot yet, this is the perfect way to start to play around because you also have the Copilot Studio here that show you a lot of different prompts to write. And yeah, And by this, you have a great way to start. As you see, it memorizes your recent activity. Of course, you can go in and delete it, and you can also ask it not to track. It's great that I have the different prompts that I was writing before here. So I can keep. You see also here that you have the plugin. So this is of course where we will go in and be able to plug in content. For instance, I can say yes to content from the web. So then I can both look through my work files and the web files at the same time. So that's um, also really, really great. You see here, this is the Copilot labs that I was talking about. You can go in and see prompts that you have here. So there's a lot of really good ones. So I can prep for that meeting, generate some ideas, help me write. Again, for me, sometimes it's difficult to know how to get started writing, writing a story or writing something. And just by going in here, you can get that really jump start, get you started, and then you can continue. Basically, one of the instances you can go write what is new, and I can ask what is new, and you organize my emails, chats, and files. I can click submit, and then I'll see what is the great thing for myself. Uh, you see here from emails, what emails I was sending, what meetings I had, what chats I had, and so on. So you see there's a lot of things going on in here. So this is a great way to also get up to date and up to speed if you have been away for a few days to see what's going on around you and what else your colleagues are to do as well. So let's quickly revert back into a couple of slides before I will hand it over to the next speaker. Um, so to round it up, I think it's important to say that Copilot can and will make mistakes. So make sure to check for accuracy because it's not an autopilot, it's a co-pilot, it's that personal assistant. And the personal assistant, you need to train, like Kamal also mentioned, like the LLM, you need to train, and as you're training on the co-pilot, to make sure that it gives you accurate responses. And go in and test out the Copilot Lab. It's a great place to start to see directional prompts that you can use to explore. It's a great place to also get ideas of what prompts can be written and how to prompts. Because again, to get to work better, it's all in how you write the prompts, how you train your Copilot, how you train the AI, basically. There's a great set of uh, videos out there. So they're all also in my slide deck over here. And we will not do any questions right now. But I will be watching both on Twitch and on YouTube for all the questions that you might have had during my session. And with this, I will just say thank you for listening, thank you for joining, and I'm handing over to our speaker. And I wish you an amazing day. And again,
Rajneesh, you are on mute, my friend.
Can you hear me?
We can now. Welcome in.
Okay. Okay, sure. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to my session, Simplifying Predictive Analytics, Unleash the Power of Microsoft Fabric Copilot. And I'm very excited to be a part of this session today and here with you. To start off, I'm going to share a very quick story with you. Suppose you are a doctor in a busy New York hospital, and now you have a numerous patients coming to you and with various different ailments, and you always wish that you could predict their diseases, right? Like a serious condition called diabetic, right? And now imagine that you have a Copilot, right, which is a very powerful tool which can help you to sift through mountains of data and then identify the different patterns coming in this data and provide you a instant insight, okay, which is impossible till date. And that insight helps you to find out the diseases in the patients or predict those diseases well before in time, okay. And let me tell you, this is not a science fiction. It is the power of Microsoft Fabric Copilot, predictive analytics built into it, and this is possible now. And that too, you don't need a brain of a data science or a skill set of a data science. That is the power of Copilot. So today, what we are going to do, we are going to explore this wonderful tool called Fabric Copilot, where we are going to simplify the predictive analytics capabilities, advanced data strategies, right? And so that we can bring some actionable insights. We'll look into a real world examples, a real world case study. We will dive deeper into the applications of it. We will have some hands-on demo, right? So that at the end of this session, you can build these things on your own. So let's get started. I'm pretty excited about it. Okay. So before we start, this is a brief introduction about myself. I'm Rajanish Kaushikk, and I'm Microsoft MVP and Databricks champion. I have total 22 years of industry experience delivering complex softwares for Fortune 500 companies. I'm a certified trainer and public speaker. I'm certified trainer for last 14 years. And this is my website. And there is a YouTube channel. You can go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And here is my LinkedIn profile. Okay. So let's get started about the agenda, what we are going to cover in this session, right? So this is a agenda fully packed with a couple of nice, thought-provoking agenda items. First, we are going to go about the introduction. How what is Fabric, right, and why this Microsoft Fabric is a game changer in today's world, right? What was the issues we were struggling with every day in day out? Now Fabric is in the picture and how it helps you, how to set up a Microsoft Fabric Copilot, because if you don't know how to set it up, you won't be able to get a benefit out of it, right? So we are going to touch on those topics. Then there is a very nice feature in Fabric called Python magic commands. And trust me, the name itself says that in magic command, it is a magic, because this magic commands will give you the code in no time with only just English language. If you know English language, you don't have to know any data science, any mathematics, statistics, model training, nothing. I mean, fundamental knowledge is good enough, and with that knowledge, you can do the job of data scientist with very easily, right? And that is what I'm going to show you in this demo. And then we will do 3 different demos, short demos. First demo will be getting started with the data science on Microsoft Fabric Copilot introductory session. Then we will learn how do we explore the humongous data for data science with Fabric Copilot. And then we will learn a very typical scenario where you're going to track machine learning models, right? And we will train a couple of models, and then I will show you how Fabric Copilot can do this magic for you. And this is a wonderful tool, and Microsoft has really done a great job in terms of putting this tool together, which makes the life of developers, not just developers, but even citizen developers, very, very easy. And then we will end this session with the question and answers. So let's get started. So first we will understand that, what is Fabric. We will understand the comprehensive overview of Microsoft Fabric and why it is a pivotal tool for the modern data science. We will explore the capabilities of Copilot for automating the Python code. We will understand some practical applications and then efficiency and innovation it provides on the top of it. Okay. So with this, I'll start my first topic. What is Microsoft Fabric and why this platform is game changer platform? So first of all, if you think about today's scenario, right, you will find that in a very large enterprise environment, right, lots of projects are running. Data and analytics is becoming very, very complex. Lots of data coming, petabytes of data coming from different data sources. And there might be, in a big company, in a big enterprise, lots of projects running simultaneously, right? Each project has its own goals, different stakeholders, different subsystems around it, right? And every subsystems which is running in these projects need a different class of products. Because if suppose you are talking about some stream analytics, you're talking about machine learning capabilities, so there might be one project working on the machine learning capabilities, other team might be working on developing them some reports out of it, right? Some team might be working on ingesting the large set of data coming out of it, right? So these products, there are different teams who are working on different scenarios, right? And when you see about these products, right, these products goes into these kind of systems. So if you see this, the domain view was different, and now this translates into this view where you have on-premises data sources, you have these systems around it, and then these are the consumptions happening from this system. And all these products which you are looking at here, there are different Azure products, right? Data Factory is one product, SQL managed instance is another one, Synapse Analytics is another one. So for each scenario, each use case, there is a separate product altogether, right? And this product is helpful to achieve that particular scenario, right? And sometime what happens, you might be using Azure products, sometime you might be using some other vendors, right? So those makes it more and more complex. Why? Because you need to integrate these products together to make it a end-to-end solution, right? And that end-to-end solution, the integration becomes very complex and fragile, right? So that is where this problem comes, right? Because now if you see here, the Oracle is one of the product. There is another product from AWS. Then Microsoft Power BI is there. Then Microsoft Stack is there in the middle of it. How do we integrate it together to make it a seamless ecosystem, right? Which can help you to achieve your business goal, right? And this is the fragmented scenario of today's world, right? So this is where Microsoft Fabric thought, okay, now let's build a predictable pattern. Why? Because why we need a predictable pattern? Because if you see today's world, Microsoft as a company has all these products available, right? Whether it is part of the data integration, whether it is a data engineering product, data warehousing, we have a Synapse data warehouse. For real-time analytics also we have product. Data science, we have Azure machine learning. Business intelligence, we have a different products, suite of products, in fact, I would say, right? So all these products are already there, right? And then these products works on the top of data lake, which is a single source of truth for all these products, which is consuming the data or ingesting the data out of it, and then again pushing this data back into this table. And then we have a governance and administration, which is on making sure that all these products are governed together. So this is one analytics pattern where we have all the products from Microsoft for each scenario, right? Now, if you see what are these products for data factory, we have a data integration, data engineering, we have a Spark, data warehousing, we have a Synapse, real-time analytics, also we have this Synapse, and then notebooks, data machine learning products. So all these products are there, but the issue still exists, because the issue is many products, different experiences for each product. If somebody is working on Power BI, he only knows Power BI. Different learning, steep learning curve for learning one product versus another product. So if somebody is a machine learning developer, Azure AI, if he's using that, it is easy for him to learn this. But again, if he wants to learn preview or other languages like data factory, very difficult to learn different products, right? Then there are these products dedicated and serverless. Some of them are serverless, like one example is Synapse is a serverless, right? And every product works completely different. The setup of these products are completely different. And then deep expertise required. If you, at today's world, if you want somebody to develop a ETL pipeline, you need to hire a ETL developer very focused on data factory, right? And then this, after you develop all these things, you need to make sure that you can integrate this product together as a one system, and integration becomes very difficult. Trust me, I have worked on multiple enterprise customers, and there I found it to be really difficult to integrate all the solution in one, right, and make it holistically available end to end for our customers. So that is where the complexity lies. Now, Fabric is the answer to all these issues, right? Why Fabric is the answer? Because Fabric provides all these products under one umbrella, right? And when I say one umbrella means when you set up the Fabric, okay, this is only one time job. All these scenarios, all these products will be part of the Fabric, okay, seamlessly, including the one lake. And that is where it adds value to all our customers, right? So that is why Fabric is one of the very, very important product. And why it is taking like momentum in the industry today, because it provides a complete analytic platform. Everything is unified, whether it is governance, ingestion, one lake. It is a SaaS product. You don't have to put any infrastructure as a service, right? It is a SaaS, just one click, within 2 minutes you can set up the environment. It is very secure because it is protected by Purview and Microsoft security, right? It is a lake-based architecture, which is a lake house architecture, very, very popular nowadays in the industry. It has a one lake concept where one lake is a single source of truth for all your data. You don't have to duplicate your data with, you can keep the data, one copy of the data in one lake. And that is where the value comes, right? You are not incurring storage cost. You have, it is a open source. It supports all the open source like Spark, and it empowers every business users at the end of the day. So these are the value. It is why it is important, because the business users already using this products which is already there, like Synapse and other stuff. So the scenario, the simplicity remains exactly the same, right? And last but not least, it is AI powered. That means it has the GPT power, open AI power. It provides you AI driven insights out of the box. So these are the values it brings to the table. And when these values are there, definitely it's a game changer, right? So now, why the SaaS solutions work? Because as a product, you don't have to customize this product. There is a minimum set of knobs you need to tweak. This is auto optimized instead of you doing optimization, and you hire optimization people, performance tuning people from outside. It is automatic optimized, right? It automatically integrated under one umbrella, so you don't have to do the integration, go through the integration challenges. So that is why it is one of the sought after product. Centralized administration makes it easy to administer all the workspaces, including the security, governance, compliance. So this is where the value comes, and this is how, and on the top of it, if you think about, okay, I want a person who is a data scientist, or a person who is a data engineer, or a person who is a report developer, right? How do I make sure that these persons have their own personas? Can they fit into this product? Yes, they can, because this provides a different set of persona, one for each set of profession. Like one example, data science persona is different, data engineering is a different one, right? So all these personas are inbuilt into it. You just have to switch those persona and you are ready to work on those personas. So that is where the optimization comes, and that is why it is a game changer. Now let's see this product, Fabric Copilot. What is Fabric Copilot, right? So Fabric Copilot is it's like a product used for citizen developers, right? If you don't know much coding, right, and still you want to get insight out of it, then you should use Fabric Copilot, right? It provides you unique capabilities for all the personas. Like if you want to develop a ETL pipeline, if you want to develop a data science code, right? If you want to query the SQL server and SQL workloads, or you want to write a Spark job, all these capabilities you can write, do it out of the box without knowing this technology in deep, because Fabric Copilot writes the code for you, right? So let's understand how to set up the Fabric Copilot, right? It's very, very simple. You go to Fabric, Microsoft Power BI, right? You go to the admin center, admin portal, and then only two steps required, right? First is you go to the tenant, and then at the tenant level, you go to the last portion of it, Copilot Azure OpenAI Service Preview, and then enable it. That toggle button will enable this Copilot, and once you click the apply. It's very, very simple. Trust me. Microsoft has made it so easy to make this Copilot enabled in any tenant in no time. And then you need to also make sure that you have a fabric capacity enabled in your Azure, so that this fabric capacity is added to the Power BI workspace. Now, why fabric capacity? Because today there is a limitation that, and by the way, let me tell you, this product is in preview mode. It's not a fully launched product, right? But still you can try it. And for this product to use, you need to have a F64 capacity in Azure. So when you configure F64 capacity, you need to make sure that you have set up the F64 capacity and attach that capacity to your Power BI workspace. And this is how it is done. Very simple. As you know, all the Azure components, you provide a name, resource group, and then capacity, and click yes. Voila, done. So this is how it works. Once you have that capacity, you create a workspace. In that workspace, you specify the fabric capacity here, right? And that fabric capacity now ready to be used, apply. So now you are attaching that fabric capacity to your workspace, right? So once that is done, you are ready to use it. Now after that, you can come to admin portal and see which capacity you have because there could be multiple capacities you have created in your environment. So you will see those capacities, and then that capacity you can select, and then it is plug and play, right? It makes the life very, very simple. So let's let me show you these things very quickly. So this is my fabric capacity I have created. You can see that. And then this is my fabric. This is the Microsoft Fabric. And here I have selected this capacity in the admin portal. And if you go further here, you'll see here I have selected this option enabled. And now you can also come here in the capacity tab, and then you can see that fabric capacity. Here I'm selecting this fabric capacity, and this is active today. And this capacity I have created here. So it's very, very simple, right? And you can use, because I have created multiple fabric capacities, you can use any of them, and you can select which one you want to select at the point of running this code. So this is how you select the fabric capacity. Okay. So now let's dwell deeper into a topic very close to my heart. This topic is, how do I run auto-generate the Python code, right? And so for those of you who went very much intimidated with the coding, right? And sometime when I ask you, okay, can you do a coding in Python or any other code? No, I don't want to do it, right? So that is where the Copilot comes to your rescue. It will help you to auto generate the Python code with magic commands. And trust me, these are magic commands only. Why? Because these commands provide a quick access to the information. It provides a very easy to run, in a plain English you can write, and it will provide you the code in no time. It will automate all the routine coding tasks for you, right? So I mean, you don't have to learn the syntax, right? And as and when you run these commands, the commands will consistently provide you this same kind of quality, the same kind of structure. So it provides you that kind of predictability, maintenance, right? Ease of use, right? So this is where the magic command comes. And let me show you a couple of magic commands, right? And you don't have to remember these commands, right? Because Microsoft has provided a very nice capability within the fabric where you can just go through this command. For just understanding purpose, I have just kept it here. So first magic command is, all the magic command starts with the percentage sign, percentage chat, right? Like percentage code. Some of them start with one double percentage, some of them starts with 1%. And then command names itself is very, very easy, like percentage code. It will generate the code for you. And in, like, one example is load my data CSV into pandas. So this is my English like statement, and I am putting a percentage code, and when I run it, it will generate the code for me, right? So similarly, if you want to have a chat with the Copilot, so you can ask the questions to the Copilot and it will give you those answers. So with this command, you can do the chatting with Copilot. Describe command describes the data frame or any other component which you are using in your notebook. So this is very important, because sometimes you need to do the describe the data frame, describe the statistical summary of the data. So there, this command really helps you. Another very important command, and this is one of one of very important command, because adding the comments, nobody wants to add the comments in a huge code, right? And that is where this command comes handy. It automatically adds the code in your comments in your code, which is already written there. And I love this because I use it day in and day out, and it nicely created very nice comments around your code, and very easy to understand by anybody after that, right? So this is very, very important command, fix errors. Suppose Azure, like this Copilot, Fabric Copilot generates some commands, right? And there is a caveat to it, right? I mean, you cannot assure that this Fabric Copilot will generate 100% right code. There might be chances that the code may not work and it may throw some errors. So for that, Microsoft have done a great job. There is this command. If suppose you are running a code which is generated by the Copilot, that code is throwing error. So what you can do on the same cell, you can go percentage fix errors, and that code will be fixed automatically. Not 100% time. It like maybe I would say that 80 to 90% time this will fix the code. But in case if it does not fix the code, then you may have to fix this code on your own, right? So, but again, if you are able to do 80% of the time, then it is pretty good, right? Then this command helps you to share the Azure. You can share the data, like if you want to set sharing level to restricted, or so that you can limit the data sharing, or you can unrestricted it, make it unrestricted to share all the data. So these are some of the commands, very easy to understand and very intuitive, right? All the naming itself, you can understand what does it do. So configure privacy setting is one command where you can set the privacy setting for all the notebooks. You can also put that all the commands where the output will come, whether you want to set this output into the new cell or you want to do it in the same cell. So that is where set output command will do. Then another command is to pin the data frame so that you can focus on that data frame which you are working on. And then another command, last command, where you can have description of new tasks. Okay, so if you want to clears the current context and set a new context, then you can set this command. And don't worry, we will see these commands working in our demos, right? So this is how now enough theory. Let's get started with a demo. Okay, and I'll show a demo to you. So first demo will be getting started with data science in Microsoft Fabric Copilot. In this demo, I'm going to load the data. Okay, and that data, I'm not going to write a single code except English like statement. Okay, and my English like statement will generate a code for you. And in this, I'm going to ingest some data. Then another step, I'm going to explore this data with the help of Copilot. And then after exploration is done, I'm going to put a data processing capabilities into that data set and train some models. And in this case, I'm going to use a diabetic data set, which is a sample data set from Azure. And there I'm going to train the regression model and classification model with Copilot's guided machine learning tools. So let's get started. So let's go to the first demo. Okay, so first I'm going to come here. Let me create a quick notebook. So notebook creation is very simple. Okay, so notebook is created. And if you have enabled F64 capacity, you will be able to see this Copilot button coming. If you have not enabled the F64 capacity, you will not see the this Copilot option available, right? Okay, is there any? Okay, yeah. So I think there is no comment. So okay, so how do I start with Copilot in this notebook, right? So this is my first demo. Like that, let me show you how can we start it. So first step is you come here and click Copilot and get started. The moment you get started, it will copy a code for you. Okay, so there are two options to run Copilot. One is this screen, and it is clearly written, it is a preview. right? And when I say preview means it is not a fully GA product. So there might be some chances that you will find some errors into it. So which is expected, right? So I always want to use this Python, the notebooks, instead of going and doing my code, putting all the prompts here. I will always use the prompts here in the notebook cell, right? So now what I will do, I will close it. Okay. Even if you close it, does not matter. And I'll make it a little bit bigger. So now let me run this Python pip install command. And if you run this command, it will install some libraries. Okay. And it will also load all the important magic commands. And once the magic commands are loaded, you will be able to run those magic commands. Okay. So let it load, and I think it's already loaded these commands. Okay. So now my Python library is ready to be used. Okay. So there are lots of code already. It's still working. So it is still working. Okay, let it finish. Yes, this is very important. So it is clearly written that these are the commands, right? And here, it's already telling you that, you are not, when you're using this tool, the data is not going into the, it's not shared outside, right? And your data is your data. And then it is also telling you the examples. Like these are the chat commands which we just discussed: fixed errors, translate, configuration commands, contextual commands, right? And this is everything is written there, right? So you don't have to memorize those commands. That's what I told you, right? So now let's start with first step. Okay. And as a part of first step, I'm going to write a prompt here. Okay. And that prompt is very simple. It's going to develop a code based on the below steps. It will create a data frame by connecting to the Azure Blob Storage using Azure Open Data Storage account, right? And Microsoft has provided lots of open data sets which you can use, right? So one of the data set is called diabetic data set, and this data set is stored in the MS samples. And in there is a container in that MS sample, and the storage account name is a Azure Open Data Storage where all the samples are kept, right? So what I want is that use this storage account, and in this container, MS sample container, read this data set called diabetes, and now use the Spark to read this data set, and this data is kept in the Parquet format, and the containers is anonymous access, so there is no requirement of SAS token into it. So when I write this, it will generate a code for you where these kind of configurations are kept. And then I'm also going to tell that include the comments, and make sure you don't do the Spark session management, because generally all the Python Spark libraries, they have the PySpark sessions. So instead of that, what you will do, you will not use this Python Spark session management, and then it will include all the required libraries. So this is where the first 5 records, it will display in the tabular format. So first, okay, so voila, it created this code for me, right? And this code actually exactly does what I told it to connect with the Parquet file kept in this blob storage, and then display the 5 records. And let me run this code. Wow, this code gives you all those detail about the data set. Now let's run to next part of the code. What I want is, I want again a code where I want to convert this data frame to the pandas data frame and display the header of the data frame. So I am again doing it, and it generated the df to pandas, right? So this is a panda data frame, because usually for data science you will do this, right? Then next option is I'm going to generate another set of code, and this code where I'm going to create a data frame called df clean from the data frame pandas, and then I'm going to add a column, and that column name will be called risk column. That means I'm adding extra column here, and that column will be using this formula. Now you might be thinking why I want to use this formula, because if you look into this data, which you can do from the data wrangler, right? And data wrangler, you will see that this particular data set has a particular value which is getting changed after the 211.5 particular number. Okay, so once you go to the data wrangler, you will find that this value is significantly changing after the this number. So we want to create a column where whenever this number comes, right, if some values are more than this, then it will create like binary variable 1. If it is less than this, then it will create binary variable 0. So this is where, and then I'm going to display this code. So why I'm doing it? Because I want to find a risk in these patients. Okay, I want to find the risk in these patients, and I found with the data wrangler that this data set has this kind of number, where if you see this number, anything above this number may be having more chances of diabetes. Anybody who is having the number less than this will have the less chances of diabetes. So I want to classify the data into two different buckets. That's what I'm actually doing here, right? So I'm again running this code, and let me tell you, this is a problem, right? And this is expected, as I told you, that there, whenever a problem comes like this, there could be a problem, right? It's not a perfect code, because Microsoft already say here that AI can make mistakes. So carefully review your code before executing it. So not a problem. What we can do here, right? What we can do here is we can do fix error command. Okay, fix errors command. Now when I say fix error command, it will fix my code, okay, and generate a new code here which will work. Okay, so let's see if this code works now. Okay, it does not work. So there is no guarantee that all your code will still work, right? There is no 100% guarantee that all your codes will definitely work. So you may have to change this code based on, if this code is not working, you may have to change this code a lot. Okay, so even if you say that fix this error, sometime it will fix the error properly, sometime you will see that the error may not be fixed. Okay, so in that case, you may have to go ahead and you have to go ahead and fix your code. So one option for this code fixing is we may have to change this um, like pandas data sets, right? So let me, 1 second. Yeah, so first one step could be to add some libraries into it, right? So we can add some libraries into it. Okay, still does not work, right? So these are some of the challenges, right, in this code, where you will find some issues like that. Definitely you will find some issues like that. Okay, and there you may have to do some debugging into it by using your own Python skills, right? So it's not straightforward that everything will be written, and actually Microsoft claims that all these things are it's not 100% correct. So always review your code here and then see what you can do better, how you can make the changes happen, right? So let me change this code. Okay, and once I change this code, it will keep running. So just a minute. Okay. Okay. I think I'll come back to this particular one, but let's switch to the another part because there are lots of debugging required for this. Let me come back to this code part afterward. Okay. So now let's go to the next part where we will do couple of other aspects to it, right? The aspect which we are going to now work on is we will come back and see whether can we run a data regression on the top of it, right? So for that, what I will do, I will write another command, and then we are going to split a cleaned dataset, df clean dataset, into training and testing subset. So for whenever you run a dataset, training dataset, you will have to create two different sets of the data, right? First data is you will split the data into two parts. 30% of the data will be used for the testing purpose, and then other set of data will be used for the training purpose. So you usually do the split of the data set, right? So what we will do here, what we will actually split the same data set, okay, and then we will use this training on the top of this data set. Okay, so for that, what we will do, okay, so this code is generated for testing and splitting. Okay, again there is error in this, so you will have to fix this error. And remember, I told you, right, there will be chances that you will have these errors. Okay, so here the error is you have to define the df clean dataset, and this df clean dataset is not defined here, right? So that df clean dataset need to define, and that df clean dataset is not exactly there, available there. Okay, so let's do some debugging in this and see where we can create the df clean dataset. So let me change the gear and see where the issue is coming from. Okay. Okay, so here what we can do, we can import the Python, right? And this is what will help you to fix it, right? Pandas. Okay, still the issue is still there. Okay, so I think there is still some errors coming from it. So let's change it to pandas. Before we do this, we may have to change the code little bit. So I'll put a cell here. Okay, it worked. And then after that, we are going to use this code. Okay, so now it's working, right? Because if you see here, the biggest issue is there is no pandas library imported. So as a best practice, always when you write a code, you should always add the libraries, important libraries into it. So my command, which I was showing you here, does not contain that particular stuff, that please add the important libraries to be used in the code. So that is where the issue comes. So if you mention it, and this is one of the best practice I have learned from my experience. So you use extra command like import the required libraries, right? And then it will import the required libraries for you. So now we have the command where we have created the risk variable. Now we have the risk variable. What we will do, we will run this command again, and it will split this into two parts. Okay, so this command is successful. Let me see. Okay, so now what we will do, we will use another command for ML flow. And by the way, when you run this command, it is also providing you the details what you need to do, right? If you are fixing the error. So I've already fixed the error. What I will do now, I'm going to add another command. Use ML flow to create experiment called diabetic regression. And this is where the experiment is created. And you see, sometime it will automatically import the libraries, sometime it will not do that. So you have to make sure that sometime you need to add that required libraries, include the required libraries, right? So now I'm starting that experiment already logged. And then another code which I want to write for writing a code for regression and log the experiment, because now I have set the ML flow library variables. Now I'm going to write a code, and that code will do the linear regression experiment for me, right? And trust me, if you don't know linear regression, very easy to understand and learn, but don't worry, this will generate the code for you. So linear regression code is generated, and this code is ready to be used. Okay, so this code has completed the diabetic regression. Now this diabetic regression experiment is done, but there is another set of regression experiment called classification. And the classification actually classify the data into two categories or three categories. So for this kind of experiment, linear regression may not give you the good answers. So for that, what we are going to write, we are going to write a different kind of regression called classification regression. Okay, and then classification regression will do this code like this. So this code, it will actually again do the same splitting of the data into two parts, 30% of the data for testing, and then remaining data will be for the real experiment, right? The same way we did it last time for the regression. And this is a fundamentals of, putting the regression in place. And then we will again use the experiment called diabetic classification, the way we did for last experiment. But this time we are going to put the name as diabetic classification experiment. And now classification experiment is logged, right? And we have set up the classification experiment. Then what we are going to do, we are going to now run the classification regression and log the experiment. So again, this is going to write me a code for classification regression. Instead, now last time it was a linear regression, now it is a classification regression, and then the code will work seamlessly. Now this code generated the classification regression, and now you can see this regression is already done in the diabetic classification experiment, and it is visible here, right? You can see all the values, runs, everything is given here. So this is first set of stuff which we have done. Now let me tell you, like let's do another experiment, guys. So the next experiment I'm going to use here is I'm going to create another experiment quickly, and let me do this by adding another notebook. So notebook creation is very easy. Go to the workspace, go to the new, more options, and then notebook. Very simple, right? And then again, I'm going to start my Copilot experience. So for Copilot experience, click it, get started, and voila, this already libraries are there, right? Run this library so that Copilot is initiated there, right? So once the Copilot is initiated, I'm going to write my same data set, which I have shown you just now, right? And in that data set, I'm going to fetch the data coming from my sample data set. Okay. So here, so looks like my data set is ready. Let me run this command and generate some code. Again, the same codes, diabetic data set, getting the data from diabetic data set, generating the code for that, 3-line code, and it will do that wonders, right? Okay, so code is getting generated. And you don't have to learn all that syntax, right? It's very easy, right? And you see the fundamental beauty of this tool is it actually gives you all the comments, right? You don't have to even write any comments. So this code is ready. Now let's check the structure of the data. Okay, so this data is already available. Now I will check the structure. What is the structure of my data? So when you check any data science, you do any data science experiment, you do check the structure, which means that number of rows, number of columns, missing values, right? All these things. So in this prompt, I am asking it to give me all these details in Python. And this is what is going to generate here. It's going to generate all the details for the data set. Okay. Wow. It generated all the detailed summary. These are the columns. These are the number of rows. These are the values where missing values are there or not, right? So there is no missing value in all these columns, right? Number of columns are 11 columns. If you see these columns, there are 11 columns. So every damn thing is given, right? This code is beautifully written and can be used very easily. Now let's see, can we use this check null check for missing data in this code? Okay, before even we get into that, can we use describe command, right? And let's see whether this data runs, this particular thing runs successfully or not. Yes, it is showing you the missing values correctly. There is no missing value in this data set, right? Then let's do this other command for this. Can I do a descriptive statistics on this data? Yes. And can we also understand the distribution of this data? Like what kind of distribution it carries? So with this describe command, you can do that, right? So it's describing the whole data set, right? So this is where you can, then we can also put a particular code. Like suppose I want to plot some data, and in that plotting, what I can do is I can plot the data by creating a graph, right? And that is what I'm doing. I'm writing, so I'm telling it to write a code for verifying the BMI feature, plots its distribution to get better understanding of its characteristics. So write the code based on these values. Calculate the mean, median, and BMI variable, histogram of the BMI variable I want to draw, add the particular line for mean and median, and add appropriate legends. So I'm not telling it which legend, it automatically understands what legend you want to add, right? So let's write this code and see whether it works fine or not. Yes, so it created a matplotlib. It created all the values. It created a histogram. Let's see whether this code works fine or not. Yes, this code works fine. So see, within a fraction of second, I'm able to generate the code in no time, right? And that too so accurate. Mean, median, every labeling, everything is given there, right? So that is the value of it. That is a wonderful tool, actually, I would say, right? Then let's do a couple of more things, right? Let's see whether we can do these things or not. So can we also run another set of tasks, like can I use another scatter plot? Okay, so I want to generate the scatter plot of BMI versus target variable, right? Instead of doing this kind of graph, I want to use scatter plot, and then I want to use the Seaborn and Matplotlib libraries, right? Let's see if this code works fine. Okay, so let's see. Okay, wow, it worked fine, right? So even if it does not work fine, right, don't have to worry, fix. And most of the time, fix errors, really fix the error. Sometime it never, but then again, you need to do some basic logic, the way we did for pandas data frame, right? And that is good enough to run this kind of code, right? And Microsoft is working very hard to release this tool in GA. And once that tool is coming in GA, then I think all small issues will be gone, right? So now let's see if can we run another set of plots, right? So there I'm now going to use a box plot, right? And I want to see whether which gender get diabetes disease more than other gender. So again, I'm going to just tell it that use a box plot for blood pressure across gender and use these libraries. And let's see. So it generated a code for me. I will run that code and it generated a box plot very easily, right? And then finally, what we will do, we will add a couple of line of code here where I'm going to generate a separate set of calculation on the top of it, right? So what I want to do is I want to calculate the average BP and BMI by particular gender. Want to say bar chart of average BP and BMI by particular sex, and then add title and labels, and then do this actual numbers on the bar chart. So let's see. So you have to, whatever you want to do, you just have to provide those detail in a very specifically, without ambiguity, in a plain English, and that's good enough. And then I think it will generate this plot. Yes, successfully generated it, right? And now we will generate couple of more stuff very quickly. Okay, so this way I'm going to actually add one second, create a line plot for BMI over age. So it will generate a BMI over age line plot, right? And then finally, I'm going to do another one, which will give you another set of graphs. So here I'm going to convert the data frame to Panda data frame for calculating the correlation between different features to understand the relationship and dependencies. So I will convert the data frame to Panda data frame and then calculate the correlation. So why correlation? Because I want to know, is there any correlation between these 6 different variables? If there is a different correlation, then I want to know what correlation is this, right? And whenever you have any correlation problem in the data set, you always generate a heat map, and that heat map gives you an idea what is this correlation is. So I'm going to generate a heat map. And trust me, generating a heat map is not easy. You will have to write tons of code sometime. But in this, it automatically generated a heat map. And you can see there is a correlation between these variables where the value is 1. Where the value is 1, these are the correlation. S3 and here S3 is having a correlation, right? And again, there is another correlation here for 1. So whenever you find a 1 value, there is a correlation happening here. So there is a negative correlation and positive correlation. You can easily see these correlations in these variables. So S1, S2, there is a correlation. Okay. And then there is a correlation here for S3, S4 as well here. So these correlations are kept. So with this, you saw that how easy it is to, you can easily see that how easily we can generate this. So similarly, we can do another set of experiments here. Like, let me quickly go through another set of experiment, just to give you a glimpse of it, how good you can do these experiments very easily. Okay, so where is my Copilot WS workspace? And then I'm going to generate notebook. And this notebook again going to give you another set of experiments. Okay, so as usual, all the experiments are easy to do. Start the Copilot, get started, right? Generate this code for you, close this. And I have seen, my experience is that whenever you use all the prompts here, this particular interface does not work well with data science. So I never, I mean, I don't want to use it because of that. Microsoft is working on it to improve this. But this, sometime it works fine, sometime it does not. For all the data science experiment and notebook experiments, you need to use this Python code and this magic commands. For SQL and other aspect, you can use other stuff. Okay, so this is another one, and I will quickly go through another set of code like the way we did it. So in this code, little bit different, right? Okay, I think this is still working. Okay, still it is working. Let it finish. Okay, so now I am coming to the next part. And then again, I'm going to fetch some data, right? So I'm going to actually create a data frame. Again, the same thing which we did last time. And now this time I'm actually telling it to display first 5 records in the tabular format and convert the data frame into pandas and display the header of the data frame. So I'm actually not just fetching the data, but also I'm pushing it, displaying only 5 records and putting it in a tabular format, which means display command, right? So if you see, this is what it does. It fetches the data, it gives you the whole pandas data frame, and then it is working on the next set of code. So again, now we have the same code, but now the code will be a little bit different. We are going to split this data set into the training and testing data set. So this is a training and testing data set. And then the testing and training data set is split. Very easy. 30% of the data in the testing, other data set is used for the training. So now we have the training and testing data set ready. Then what we will do, we are going to use the ML flow and create experiment again. So this is a ML flow to create experiment called diabetes experiment. And experiment is created with the set experiment command. Now, once the experiment is created, let's do the experiment. So here what I'm telling it is to train the regression model using the linear regression and parameters which is used here in the ML flow, and log this parameter with the value of linear regression. So that means it is going to create a regression model out of the box, and it is log those values, right? And this is a fundamental of ML flow, right? I mean, you create a experiment, you set the parameters of the experiment, and then this experiment is done. Again, this experiment status is failed, but actually experiment is created here, right? So similarly, you will do another set of experiment this time, and this experiment is nothing but okay. So there is some error in this, by the way, right? So we may have to fix this error. So let's fix this error if possible. Okay. So here it is telling that you need to use this from sklearn matrix import mean squared error. So usually I have seen it does not import all the values here. So I will again generate this code, and I'm going to add this value here. So it's already added now, if you see. Let's run it. Okay, this time it ran the experiment successfully. Now I'm going to search those experiments very quickly, whether I am able to search those experiments which I ran successfully. So this time what I'm doing, I'm actually importing necessary libraries. So I'm telling it to import the necessary libraries. And let's see what are the experiments which we are running. So it will give you all the list of experiments till date, like whatever experiments we ran. And this code I'm going to write where I'm going to use the ML flow again. And, I am going to tell it, I want to retrieve the experiment with the name of experiment ID and then use all the necessary libraries. So this time it is going to retrieve all the experiment with the experiment ID of diabetic experiment. So you can actually tell how you want the code to be written. If you know those particular methods, you can tell it that use that method, write this code in that fashion which I want, instead of you using your own way. You want it to write in a specific fashion. And then the last two part of it, very interesting, that it generated everything. Now what I want is that I want to compare the job runs outputs, configure the search to order the results by start time and showing the maximum of two results. That means I want to see that the experiments are there. Now I want to compare the results between these two experiments. So these are the results which is coming from the experiment. And finally, what it will do, you can plot the values of the graph if you want, right? Which you can do easily. If you want to plot it, you can do it that way as well. Okay, so here again this may or this may not work, right? So if it does not work, then you may have to fix it, right? So this is one thing you can. Okay, this did not work. So again, use the import. Fix errors. With fix error, you can make it work. Sometimes fix error may not fix it. So again, you need to tweak the code, right? As I told you. Okay, so now again, let's see. I mean, by this time you got an idea, right? How the whole stuff works, right? So sometime you may have to debug that code. Sometime you may have to, right? Okay, so let's wrap it up now. The time. So with this, we have covered all the experiments and demo. You have any questions, please feel free to ask those questions. And then, I'll be more than happy to answer those questions. Thanks for watching.
Yeah. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for organizing this event, who are organizing and supporting this event. Thank you very much. And who are joining this session, and thanks for them. And we are going to talk about today everything is a Copilot, right? Let's say everyone already talking about Copilot every day, AI companion, right? Let's say people are now everyone talking about Copilot. The thing is now the AI is evaluating, and we are adapting more on all the Microsoft apps and everywhere, right? Now, what I'm going to talk about how we are reusing the existing ones. Okay, whenever we have message extension, already we are developing lot message extension with the APIs, and we can develop with the search commands or across command lines, everything. That's how we can reuse it as a plugin or as a component in our applications. That's our as a Copilot. What's the benefit of Copilot? That's we need to understand. Before that, just I introduce myself. Okay, I am Jenkins. I'm a modern workspace solution architect as a consultant. I'm an international speaker, author, as well as trainer.
I'm from Chennai, India. I'm a MEP as well MCT, and I'm a specialist of Microsoft Teams, Power Platform, and SharePoint framework. I published a book about building solutions with Microsoft Teams 2 years before. When your Teams in a peak is a purely for the development activity, the Teams Dabs developer platform. I'm also event organizer, and I'm started my career with very long back with the SharePoint since 2005, and my connects are in the part. Okay, that's my brief introduction. Anything want more, you can ping me anytime. Always, I'm ready to help. Okay, um, just we can go ahead with our application. Okay, what we are going to talk about. Or first thing is I'm going to talk about the what is Teams message extension. Just brief about it. Then I give the Copilot. What is the Copilot for Teams and for Microsoft 365? Then Copilot plugin. What is that and how we are going to use and what is the benefit over there? Then how to build a message extension for Teams. Then what is a prerequisite for making this message extension as a Copilot plugin, and we can able to test as a local environment and how to deploy it and everything we are going to talk about today. Okay. First, Teams. Everyone now is very familiar with Teams. I hope people are very familiar as well as now. In 2017, we Microsoft introduced Teams. That time, is people are feel that how we are going to adapt it. Now, everyone is adapted. Everyone know about Teams, and now and also how we are can able to extend our line of business. Everyone organization that having their own line of business, they can extend it their business inside the Microsoft Teams as a bot, as a tab, as a message extension like that. When you come to extensible platform, build apps with a rich set of capabilities to enable these higher performing teams and reach your users in their chats, channels, notifications, and personal workspaces. Drive engagements by submitting your app to the Office Store. That's a regular we are extending the app. We have a bot, we have a tabs, we have a notification, we have a message extension, command and actions, and graph connectivities, personal area or group chat, teams chat, like that, wherever you can able to do. What is bot? Everyone know, right? It's like a conversation, one-to-one conversation with from the um, any data you want to discuss with your customer, they can come and do their own. Then we can use the bot. Tab is nothing but it's like a web page tab. We can able to get read the content, rich content within a Teams, and notifications like a proactive notifications, like whenever you want to indicate some feedback or notification or immediate intimations like that, we can go into use it. And message extension. The message extension, we have two types: users to query and share rich cards in the conversation, or like we want to display the data back like that, we can able to use. That's a benefit of the message extension. When you come to message extension, I like it developing the new message extension. Before that, just I'll show what is the message extension available in the system. Okay. When you say go to the chat, whenever you go chat to anyone, you can see in the bottom, you can see here, uh, here whatever it is. For example, I can say any application, any app like that, you can able to bring from here, or you want to bring from more plugins like this. These all the plugins we are talking about is apps. Okay, works with Copilot, then they call the plugins. Other than that, we have a populars in Teams. We have YouTube. We have like that. We have huge number of apps we can able to use. When you say Teams, for example, I'm coming to Teams. Any one of the posts we can start. If you stay starting with ads, here you can see here. Plus, we have all the apps like these are called as message extension. Whenever you're talking about, say, adding a YouTube, I can say, I can use my name. I have some videos left. You can use like this, and post. This is the message extension, searching and getting a data, and you can populate as a card. Okay, whatever it is. This is not only here. We can able to use like this, or we can able to use a response for some reply back, more actions. We can see a new action, or you want to, you can create any new action you want to respond. You can able to respond using the Power Automate, or you want to make it edit response. We can say, because the same person responding, if I reply, again you can able to click the plus icon and you can get all the message extensions. These are called messages. And for example, I want to take some news, add it here, whatever the icons available here, right? We can call this message, and also you can say we can reuse our message extension as a copilot whenever you want. Okay, that's a benefit over there. Not only the channels, we can able to use in our individual chats, or you can able to use a group chats. Everywhere you can able to use these message extension. Okay, just back. Whenever you want to develop a message on your own, we need some background information. We need to always remember that Teams app always prefer to use web pages, whatever the data you want to bring in the front. And the Teams will utilizing your manifest JSON, and the front end we can use the Azure portal. That's the way it will communicate. You can see that a search for this so recently and we pay people. That's why whenever you want to get this message extension, we can able to search, and we from there we can able to respond back and able to do. And when you come to the compose the card, this is second responding the message as a card, as an adaptive card or a hero card or a command box card. Like that, we have a card. We can compose that, mention your name, people who needs to see information. For example, I feel that I want to share some data for particular person from my team. Not everyone. Everyone can see, but I want to intimate the person who the person, for example, I have 10 members in my team. One of them is very important to see this email message, and he need to do some action over there. Then I can select like that. I say use the at mention part and share to the team. Now everyone can see the summary, open a link to your content, or take the immediate action right from the chat. That's the way you can able to use the message extension. When it come to Copilot, everyone talk about Copilot. Already you saw two sessions in Copilot, right? When you say Copilot, it's a first you need to understand this is nothing but the background we are using natural language, how to communicate with the system and get the data back. Whatever you're searching previously, we won't get the accurate data, and we can search based on your content. Now it will understand this your query, and it will bring the proper data what you are expecting from your Microsoft 365 apps and or any external applications. Okay, large language model and Microsoft graph data, Microsoft 365 apps. That's the way we are going to express the data. Okay. Microsoft supporting with all the apps available embedded across Microsoft 365 apps. For example, you can say, I'm coming with Word. We have a Copilot, right? We have whenever open a Word, you can see the right hand side, you can have a Copilot. It's a licensed one. If you have a license, you can able to see that. Okay. You can easily ask questions. The same way the document, where inside document you have a draft version, a draft with the Copilot, and you can able to describe and everything. It's a right side ask for the question, and you can get the response. The same way we have in the PPT also. Wherever go, you can able to have. Okay, all the apps available. Not only for it's Word, Excel, or like that. Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Teams, Outlook. Everywhere we have a Copilot integrated, embedded across Microsoft 365 apps. When you come to action to your business content and context, always remember that it will based on your data only. It's not based on others' data or common data with your organization. Always it's come like a proper security, compliance, and privacy and responsibility. Okay, this is very important, right? When you say Microsoft 365 is already established product, It having huge number of apps, like 19 endpoints available. Whenever you are talking about data, always we need a security. We need a everyone have a sensible data. Everyone have a accompanied with the governance, and every organization with the compliance and governance we need to proceed. That's a security and compliance is very important, but it's always built on Microsoft comprehensive approach with the security, compliance, privacy, and responsible living. It won't read others' data, always based on the current user data. Based on your permission, you can able to access the data. When you talking about Copilot plugin for Microsoft Teams, okay, always you say Copilot for plugin for Microsoft Teams. What is the why they need a plugin? Okay, whenever they say Teams, already we have apps. We are developing apps like bot, message extension, tab, like that. From whenever you are want to interact with the real-time data from the outside, previously we are utilizing the apps. Now we want to integrate with the Copilot. Okay, that's the reason. For example, in every Teams, one second. When you say Teams, we can able to see Copilot in every organization level. You can see here Copilot. When you click Copilot, you can able to here we can be able to get the prompts, or you want to get any suggestions, or you want to start a new chat, like that you want to discuss. These Copilot, it will integrate with it. Here see all your plugins in reference apps on your uh, apps on your behalf. Copilot may share some of your Microsoft Enterprise data within plugins to that. That's a web content. If you want, you can enable, or like that, or more plugins. Which plugin you want to integrate, you can able to take it. For example, I go here. Uh, voice, maybe okay. Say anything is respond. Copilot is always responsible, and it will respond the data properly. Okay, that's a benefit over there. Okay, for example, I want to know any details, and also I want to know data from my app. Okay, whatever the plugins, we can say plugin. Why can't we explore? Best I can say apps. Okay, when it works with the Copilot, we can say I can get some data from any one of these Copilot integrated plugins. For example, I can say Copilot for viewer goals, perfect wiki. Okay, we added, right. It's if you want to sign in, and you can do it like that. Uh, just I can sign in with this. Any apps you want to expand, and with the Copilot. Okay. Now I can go here. You can able to see the Copilot. We can able to get this one also. Perfect. You want to refer some data, like that, you can able to get the data, like they say add people from there, or add apps from there, like that. Files, everything we can able to filter and get the data out of that. Okay, now we can come out. This is the way we are getting the data, everything. I'm going to show some information to you on that. Whenever you are planning to develop your message extension, you can need a Visual Studio Code, or you can able to do from your Word also. That is fine, but it's not easy. It's something, it's a process you require. When you are planning for a message extend to your Copilot inside your Teams, then you need to follow this one. Minimum to Teams toolkit is version 5.2, and with Node version 18 plus. 18 plus means 18.7. Now we have more versions in Node. Okay, and you should have a license with the Microsoft 365 subscription with Copilot. It's all available. Then only it will work for you. You can able to work on it. Okay, let's say I can show you. First, you can say before I'll do the demo now. Okay, voice. Whenever you open a Visual Studio Code, okay, that's a, I hope you can see my screen. You can see that, for example, I close this one. Okay, this is a, 1 second. I'll open a new one. Okay, new application. Let's say Visual Studio Code. If you have not installed Teams app, it's the first time you are doing this theme icon, right? It won't be there. Okay, you can able to see here extension, Teams tool. It's already I am installed. You need to verify easily. We know that what item I am installed already and what versions are there. Everything. Because this is the main thing you need required for message extension development or bot development. Everything. Okay, that's the reason Microsoft easily provided. Previously, we need to go with your command prompt and you can able to develop. That's also possible still, but this is easy way, right? You can no need to worry about it. Just you can go the teams. You can able to see that all the apps here. We can able to use your samples also. You can able to bring all the samples, whatever samples we have. So you can able to use Teams app with the features, message extension, meetings app, whatever samples. You can practice yourself easily from that. Now I'm going to start a new app. Okay, click a new app, custom copilot or bot tab. Now I'm not going to develop a custom copilot. You can create a custom copilot also directly for copilot. Now we are going to reuse our existing extension apps, right? I'm having my message extension. It support the search query only. Okay, we have a different type of message extension, collect from input and process data, or link and flaring. These all the different options are there. You remember that it will support only search results for Copilot. Open it, then you have to see, start with a new API. If you have a Azure function and you can able to use it, just I summarize what I've done. Initially, I did not realize that is internet or some other things disconnected. I talking the continuously. Now I show you once again. Yeah, I hope you can see my screen. Now, whenever talking about Copilot part, it will available from everywhere. We can able to see all the apps. It's embedded across the Microsoft 365 apps. Someone is typing. Okay, thank you. Whenever you can say Copilot access your business content under context, you can able to access all the data. And when you say security part, compliance, privacy, response, this is very important in our everyday activity, right? Whenever you are action with your data, data is very important when you are sharing to someone or accessing some data from your SharePoint, Teams, or anywhere, is required as security because the reason is any others data you can't see, or it's a very responsibility become the governance and policies important, right? That's already Microsoft 365 very much established product. They have a security, compliance, and privacy implemented. Now they Microsoft integrated with the Copilot also. Okay, it's available there. And when you come to Copilot plugin for Teams, we can able to know that we are getting a data from external part. Then we can make it as a Copilot plugin, whatever we have in our Teams. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Just I already started the application. Whenever you say I can use recreated it, okay, just leave it. I'll recreate my Visual Studio. First, you need to know that whenever you want to develop a app for Copilot message extension from the Teams message extension, we need to expand with the or extending to your Copilot. Then you remember that we need a Teams toolkit version 5.2. Then the supporting components by default is available there. Then we have a node, should have a node version 18 plus in your machine. Then only you're able to bake it. And also you need a license for the Copilot subscription. Then only you're able to do. That's a always remember that we need to do that subscription required. Okay, now I'm creating one new app. Now what I do is I'm going to create a new app, how we are going to create. Okay. First thing you remember that I have a Visual Studio. I install my Teams. Okay. How we can know that? You can go here. I can say Teams toolkit. You can able to see this available or not. Okay. You can able to install or uninstall. You can able to do that. And this is a mandatory one. Node is by default. You can able to search from the terminal. You can just go here and type node space version, enter. You can see my machine is having version 18.717.1. Whatever 18 plus is fine. Okay, this version is support. Now I'm going to create a new one, a new application here. Click the Teams and you can start with creating new app. Okay, well, let's time, right? Here you can see, by default, you can see a message extension. Okay. Now we are going to create a message extension. Then from there, we can make it as a Copilot plugin. Okay. Custom search results. And let's say in message extension, it will support only custom search results for Copilot. Okay. Let's click it and start with a bot. Okay. We have a different option. We can use a bot. And we have a TypeScript. We can go with the default folder. I can say demo global Copilot developer summit New York. Okay, I use this name and enter. It's creating the app. Okay. Once you have this app, you can able to see like this. You can see all the search, everything. Okay. Okay, this is the application, right? Whenever you run, this is the URL is not running. That's the reason it will throw error. That's the anyway I can show you. When you say run, start debugging, it will run in the local. Okay, it will deploy the node, everything for you to all the supporting files, everything is to install and it will execute. But always remember that we need a proper URL. This URL I can show you how it works. This is the Google API to get the book based on the ISBN number. Okay. Now I'm going to search the data from here. This is the ISBN number of my book. Okay, this one. Any ISBN number. For example, I can say Amazon.com or whatever it is. And we can say some books like Microsoft SharePoint. I can do something like any one of the book. Okay, so we have huge number of books available in the market, right? I can use this book, any one of the book you can take and copy the ISBN number from here. Here the ISBN number, right? Go to Google Lab and this one I can replace it. Enter. I think this total item is not showing anything. Some books the data is not showing. Maybe the Google app is not added the data. Okay, let's say we can copy the data some other. Yeah, you see the data. Okay, this one having a data. I'll use this ESP number also from our testing. Okay, we go back to our application. Okay, I created my multiple ones. I can close this one. Okay. Now what I do is the same query, I can use this from here, copy it and I can put here, right? Okay. This application is already executed. You can see the application here. It's a test app tool, but unfortunately it's having the no data. That's it won't work. It's a yes, it's a test data is coming from this one. Okay, let's say for example, I can say React. This is a data from there. Okay, whatever data available from this URL, by default the standard URL they are using. When you go here, you can see here this is a URL by default Microsoft providing. Okay, this is out of box solution. Okay, it's executed and you can able to see the data like this. Whatever you are searching, it will bring that, and you can send it. It will send to the user. Okay, or you want to send to the group chat and you want to make it like this. Such items, for example, I type Jenkins in my name. If anything is there, Jenkins is there. Jenkins model like that. Okay, click it and click at Jenkins client. Likewise, you can able to, this is data you can send back. Okay, whatever data we have, we can able to make it available, and the user can able to see the data. Okay, that's why we are able to bring back the same thing. I want to bring my own API or own thing. I can update and show you. This one, just I can say command it. Okay, that's it. You need to know that what I'm modifying. That's the reason I'm commenting and showing. The same response part, I use my own query based from the Google API. Okay, that's first thing. Then because of data coming from different object, that's why I'm changing this response.data. You want to bring from the different one. Okay, let's say items. Okay, that's how we want to use that. I can, and also we want to use the object one. Let's say both I can show you. For example, this is items. Instead of object, we have items. Then instead of package, we use volume, because that is a package information about the technologies from the repositories. Now I'm using from all data from my book, right? Whatever book I have, we have a name and the description. The name I can select the book and I can return back. Okay, that's the way I'm going to talk show. Okay, this is the way I am added. Now I'll save all. We have already built it. Okay, this is a extension part I can have. Okay, let's say they go back to my app. I can just go here, search. I can provide the ISP numbers. Okay, now I'll go here and given a ISP number, you can see, but the name is not listed. Okay, I can find it. You can see the data is like this. Is a description for the book, and but the name is not loaded. Maybe some issue. Okay, I'll check it. And for the name, not name, because it's a book, right? It's a title. How I know that? We need to know because it's a my API having this title here. Okay, title, and description or publisher name, everything, whatever you like, you can able to bring here. Okay, for example, I like to bring the publisher also to display to the user. Then I can use here publisher colon. You can add these things and save all. Now I go back to this application testing area. This is a developer part. You can easily test it. Okay, let's say go here and click plus search icon. I can go and use this any one of these ISP number and search it. You can see the build solution with the name. I can click it. You can see the name, and the bottom you can see the publisher also. Okay, let's say I think it's not saved properly. Because of the data you want to send as a card, right? You can make it available everything. Okay, the reason why it's not publisher not coming, because of this card I don't have the option for publisher. Just I can add one more thing, then test block. Here I can use this data with the publisher. Okay, now it will the card will having that. Save all. Otherwise card don't know, right? What data we have. Okay, okay, let's say I refresh it. Okay, let's say we can get a new one plus search icon. Then I can use this icon and I can select it. It will have this data. A press is a publisher, and the same way if you try with the other book. Okay, we have one more book, right? You can see I think Everest, that's also Everest publisher. We can use some different also. Okay. You can search, you can get see multiple books are there. Any one of the book I'm selecting, you can see the publisher name also, pack it, published it. Okay, and they can able to send, you can get the data back. This way we can able to get it as a message extension. Okay, the same thing we can able to bring as a application. So mock an activity feature, install the bot in your application. Let's say it will on installation update what you want to do, like that activity you can able to do it, verify all the stuff. Okay, that's the way we can able to test a personal, because it's a testing part, I can do that. Okay, the same thing you can do from the Copilot also. Okay, they say uh, these all the things it will support as a message extension. Search is the only thing it will support for the Copilot one. Okay, I hope everyone understand. Always remember that whenever you are using in the Teams, you can see this place as a Copilot area. You can able to click it, and you can there you can able to get whatever application you want. Okay, for example, you want to bring some files or whatever, it will use the slash and you can get, and also we can get whatever the apps and everything. Okay, and here you can see the all the plugins. See, I added the perfect wiki, right? It just enabled, then it will available for you, and you can get the data from there. He's asking for the login. Okay, why I'm not unable to bring the one, it's not deployed there. Okay, let's say I use the login. Accept it. That's the reason always the plugin is logged with your personal ID, what we have. Then only based on that data only it will bring. Okay, that's always you can prefer that. Okay. Now it will, if you are trying to get some data about the perfect part, it will bring the data for that also. Okay, whatever the uh, you want to bring some data, find a different prompt or like that, whatever data suggestions you can get, and also you can get this content enabled for you. Based on that, you can able to get the data. Okay, attachments or whatever it is. This is purely a chat. You can discuss whatever data you want. Okay, that's the way you can get the Copilot part. And this is the extension part. We have a testing part, right? We can use any one of these data. You can get the data back, and you can able to send. Okay, everyone understand? Anyone have any questions? Please raise there in the chat window. I think it's a time up, and I need to wind up. I can answer you whenever whatever question you raise. Okay, this will come back, and you can thank you very much for this time. Everyone wait for my session and the thank you all. In the middle, some disturbance with the video. Sorry about it. Thank you everyone. Anyone have a questions? I'll answer you.